When you see a website, what do you see? A lot, right? Okay, let's focus on this card here. What do you see now? Well, there are different elements that are structured in a certain way to make up a beautiful card. Let's see the skeleton layout of this card and learn some basic terms used in auto layout. The box containing all the items inside it is called a container. Items inside a container are called contents, and spacing between contents or container is called padding. With that understood, let's see what is an auto layout. Well, in simple terms, it's a way of structuring contents in a container that when we resize it, our structure behaves in a responsive manner. Still confused, right? Let's see this example here. On the left, we have a card without an auto layout. Each item is on a separate layer and we have control on each individual item. And if we select all of them and try to resize it, it becomes all messed up. Ratio, proportions of icons, text, it's all jumbled up. This means it's not responsive. Let's have a look at the card on the right. It's designed with an auto layout. When we resize it, the content behaves in a responsive manner. Icons move accordingly and the container increases in height when text is wrapped inside the container. This is because we have used auto layout to structure this card. It means the card is responsive. Let's create this auto layout card. At this moment, as you can see, everything is in a separate layer and we can directly select each item. Think of auto layout as stacks. First thing when creating an auto layout is to observe what items can be stacked together. So for example, we have these three texts over here that can be stacked vertically. Let me drag a rectangle to show you the stacks. So first we have this vertical stack. The second stack can be this thumbnail and our first stack. And third can be our second stack plus this icon. And finally, the fourth stack can be our third stack plus this fox image. So once we have idea of our stacks, now we can delete these guides and start building auto layout. Select these three texts, right click and select add to auto layout. Immediately you can see these have been grouped in a frame and see the icon is different from regular frames. This icon shows it's an auto layout now. And inside we have our three texts. Let's name this text auto layout. On the right now we have auto layout options. First option is direction of auto layout. It can be horizontal or vertical. So if I select horizontal, it will stack items horizontally. And if we select vertical, it will be a vertical stack. Secondly, we have spacing between items. As name suggests, it's spacing between each item inside our auto layout. If we increase this, see the spaces are increasing between them, and you can adjust spacing directly from here by dragging this icon here. Let's keep it 12 pixels. Next option we have is the vertical and horizontal padding between our container and contents. If we increase this, you can see it's added spaces between container and contents. You can adjust this directly from here as well. Let's keep it 0 for now. We have our first auto layout ready. Now, think about our second stack. Our second stack can be this image here and our first layout that we just created. So select both of them, right click and add to auto layout. It means that we can add auto layout inside another auto layout. If we open this new auto layout, we have two contents inside, our image and our text auto layout. Observe this icon is a bit different. This is showing the alignment of contents inside the auto layout. We can change this directly from here to top left. And just like before, we can adjust space between our items. Just like this. Let's name this thumbnail text. Oops, sorry, thumbnail text. Okay, so let's create our third stack. Select our new thumbnail text auto layout and this icon here and add to auto layout. And now we see again we have two items inside this new auto layout. First item is thumbnail text auto layout and the second is our icon. Let's name this thumbnail text icon. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just doing this so that I can explain in a better way. Did you notice Figma automatically detects the direction of auto layout? This is mostly correct, but we can change it to our needs if it doesn't. So if we do it vertically, it will stack it vertically, and if we do it horizontally, then it will be horizontal. And we can change the spacing just like before. Now we have our third thumbnail text icon auto layout and this image here. Select both of them and select add to auto layout. And again Figma automatically detected the direction we want. We can change it to horizontal or vertical. Now that we have our stacks ready, did it solve our responsiveness issue? First, let's name this thumbnail text icon image. And if we check it inside, we have our other auto layouts and other contents inside it. Let's resize to check the responsiveness. It doesn't work. But why is that? Because we have to do one more adjustment. As we now know that this is our parent auto layout, so we can name it container to explain the next steps better. Inside our container we have this image. Select this and see here we have another option for horizontal and vertical resizing, and it's set to fixed. If we select the horizontal resizing, it will show option to fill container, which means as this is a content inside a container, it can automatically adjust its width to fill the container. And just like this, it now automatically fits its width to adjust the width of the container. But the problem still exists. If we select our thumbnail underscore text underscore icon auto layout, it is saying hug contents, which means its width is exactly the width of its child contents. I repeat, its width is exactly the width of its child contents. So by the name it says it's hugging the contents inside it. Change it to fill. As you can see, it changes the width to fill the container. But if we select the content inside it, it's still more than the container because it's hugging the contents. Change it to fill as well. This again solves the problem a bit, but the problem still exists. It means that we have to do this for all content items inside our container. For this thumbnail image, we don't want it to resize, so we keep it fixed width and height. But for this auto layout, change it to fill. And also the content inside it. Change all of these texts to fill. Let's just select these texts simultaneously and change it from fixed to fill. And now when we resize, everything is adjusting to the width of the container. We can change this space between items to make it more cleaner. Now let's resize it again and see how it works. Yeah, that's perfect. See how the text is wrapping perfectly and keeping the spaces. But what about this icon here? It's not even part of our auto layout. So if we place it here and resize, it doesn't work. To fix this, let's bring it inside our auto layout container. But see what happens. As this is an auto layout and it was a vertical stack, it has considered this icon as another item inside the stack and put it on the top. But we don't want this. So what we can do is select this icon and click on this icon here that says absolute position. This will put it absolutely on the top of our auto layout. And if we put this icon here and try to adjust size, let's put it here and adjust the size, it still doesn't work. That is because we have not set the correct constraints for this. Select this icon and put it in the correct position, just like this. And as this needs to move from top right, so we set the constraints to top and right. And if we zoom in here, we can see the constraints line here as well. See these blue lines. Now, if we resize it, the responsiveness works 100%. Now, this is how you can create an auto layout of anything you want. You just have to think about auto layout as stacks. We use auto layouts for 3 reasons. The first reason is the responsiveness, but the other reasons are to have consistency and control. Let me explain. Let's say that we have this auto layout card in this frame and we want multiple cards. We can quickly duplicate this card once and put it here and add these cards to an auto layout just like this, and it's now an auto layout with horizontal direction. Inside this auto layout we have the contents. Ignore the layer name container because it's not a container anymore. Now there is another parent auto layout which is the actual container. Let's first select the items inside our auto layout and select fill container because we want the auto layout to be responsive. Resize our main container and see it's completely responsive. And now if we duplicate one of the cards a few times, it will automatically adjust the container, keeping everything consistent and responsive. Now we can duplicate this whole auto layout and put it below it and add them to an auto layout just like this. This will stack these items in a vertical auto layout, and exactly like before, select the contents inside and select fill container, horizontal resizing. We have perfect control in all these cards. We can adjust whatever spacing we want between them, just like this. We can set whatever spacing that we want, and when we resize it, this is responsive too. And if we delete one of the items, it's still responsive. Let me show you. So that is the power of auto layout. It makes everything responsive, consistent, and gives us complete control. Now when we look at youtube.com, can you identify auto layouts? We have this auto layout card, then we have this horizontal auto layout card, then we have this vertical auto layout. We have all these auto layouts here as well. And when we see the bigger picture, we have these 2 auto layouts stacked horizontally. We can use auto layouts to create components that will be completely reusable and responsive. We will absolutely have control over them. For example, if we change the parent component spacing, and it will reflect everywhere. How do you master auto layouts? What I showed you is just one use case of auto layout. There are many ways you can use auto layout. Key thing is to observe your design in stacks. It takes a lot of practice and playing around with settings of auto layout to understand it's working. And there are still some limitations to what can be created in auto layouts, but once you know how to use auto layouts, you will know what should or shouldn't be created in auto layouts. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments area and I will answer them. And if you want to learn more about these design tools, please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.